and welcome to the Sanctuary, a safe space to speak from the heart. My guests today are the owners of Ivory Sheep clothing, Mike and Mackenzie. Thanks for coming to the Sanctuary today.
Thank you for having us.
So, yeah, let's start with how did you guys meet?
So we met when we were 16 years old at a friend's Christmas party.
Oh,
Yeah, we were still
Yeah.
in high school at the time, and we just had a mutual friend who, I guess, like the mutual friend we had, like had multiple different friend groups
Yeah.
because we didn't really run in the same circles
yeah.
until we met. So yeah.
Yeah, and we just talked. We talked all night that night, and then added each other on Facebook as you would normally do back then.
Yeah.
And oh, you still today, I guess. And yeah, we did a lot of Facebook chats and BBM messages. Love
BBM! Don't you miss Blackberry though? Like,
all the
Big
I
time.
time.
miss it. I miss it. I miss it so much. As in, kind of used to typing on this, like, on the glass, but I prefer the keyboard, right? You have, actually touching something.
I'm like an angry texter. Like whenever I would get into arguments with him,
Oh
like
gosh.
BBM was the place. Like that keyboard, you never mess with a word. On these like screens, I can't get it right.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. And then like, basically you've been together for years and years and years. Like, did you start a business together before Ivory Sheep or?
No, it was our first real business venture, I guess,
Yeah.
together. She was more into the industry than I was. I wasn't in school at the time for so many things like business, and then I dropped out. I went to computer programming, dropped out of that, wanted to be a paramedic for a little bit, couldn't do that. And then she came to me with this idea, and I was like, I'm all for it because I've always wanted to start a business, but I never had the idea, I guess, or what to do with it. Whereas she had the business goal and
Yeah. The
idea,
vision.
but you didn't know how to do like the
The
behind
website
the
and all
scenes
of,
stuff.
oh my
Yeah.
gosh, that stuff I was nervous about.
So, like, Mackenzie, did you have a background in fashion before starting your
Yeah,
business?
so my first job was actually at a clothing store, and that was my first time like dipping my toes in retail. And I
Mm,
absolutely loved it, but I knew I always wanted to do fashion or be in fashion.
mhm.
So the original hope was to be like a fashion blogger or a fashion writer for a magazine.
Mhm.
And as I started to grow up, I realized that wasn't what I wanted, and I really loved like the retail side of it. And
Uh, what changed, or like, what made you realize that's not what you wanted?
so I was actually going to school for English in Toronto. And at the same time, I was working at my retail job. And I just
Mhm.
started to realize that if I were to be a fashion writer, I would no longer have the ability to see customers every day. My days would just look entirely different from how I actually thought or wanted them to look.
Hmm.
So I
Mm,
just suddenly realized like opening a business or, working in retail would probably be the best option for me.
mhm.
And then I also realized that there were no clothing stores or anywhere in the fashion community that really had what I was looking for. It was like I almost felt as if I didn't fit in other clothing stores or I didn't fit in the fashion community. And it
Mm.
just kind of dawned on me that I was like the black sheep always. So that's kind of how the initial business plan was born because I wanted to open a store called Black Sheep for a place where people don't fit in and they felt like they could find a community or a safe place where you could be whoever you wanted and
Hmm.
have people
Mm,
who still supported you.
mm. And then why didn't you name me Black Sheep?
So it was originally Black Sheep. And as the years went on, I started to find, well, both of us started to
Yeah.
see a ton of other businesses named Black Sheep. I mean,
There's one
we
across
have
the
one,
street from
yeah, we
us.
have a restaurant across the street from our current location. that's called Black Sheep, and it's a restaurant. So I wanted to stay true to Black Sheep, or like a play on those words, because that's like literally the essence of the store. It's you're never going to
Mhm.
find product or anything like this anywhere else. It's for someone who is a black sheep.
Yeah.
And he came up with the idea of the ivory sheep because the black sheep has now become,
Like the white sheep. There's so
yeah,
many
Yes,
black
yeah,
sheep out there. There's no, then it's not unique anymore.
no,
So it
yeah,
kind of got
yeah, yeah.
reversed. And that's how that was born. So
yeah.
yeah.
Where was this? Was like where did this idea? Where were you when this idea was born?
So we were driving back from the city of Guelph actually, because she had an appointment at the time,
Nail appointment.
nail appointment, and we were just talking business, and what else do you do on such a long drive? And then we came up with that idea, and once that started,
It all just fell into place.
wheels started to turn, and yeah,
Yeah.
got everything in order, and that was probably 2 or 3 months before we really decided, like, okay, we're gonna move out here. And what was that, like May, I think, and we
Yeah.
came out here in August.
Yeah.
So it all
Huh.
happened really fast.
So like, yeah, go ahead.
Oh, sorry. The concept of like the store I wanted to open was literally born when I was 18 years old. So it had been something that I've been working towards since then, and something that he knew about for all those years.
Yeah.
And then when he approached me is when things really started to move and things just really started to fall into place.
Mm-hmm. And like, so why Toronto? Like, you guys were in Toronto, and people are usually used to people going the other way, like from Nova Scotia to Toronto to follow their dreams, business, whatever. But you guys went the reverse. Why?
So being in the fashion community, I was able to see it like from the perspective of Toronto. I was already in that fashion world, and I saw that not a lot of people were trying to go against the grain there, and to go against the grain and create a fashion industry would have been that much more difficult when there was already an industry there. And every time him and I would travel to Nova Scotia, I would honestly get stopped on the street, and people would be like, "Where's your purse from? Where's your shirt from? Like, I need that." So I'm like, Nova Scotia is dying for a fashion community. They're dying for something different. Let's go make our own fashion industry in Nova Scotia. So we're really going against the grain here, and we're really trying to
I guess
create
build it from the
an
ground up.
industry that's not here, whereas in Ontario there's already an industry there. So breaking that mold would have been so much more difficult than just creating one our own.
Yeah.
And then, like, okay, so you move, like, you had the idea for the business. Did you like get the location and stuff before moving, or how did that happen?
Yeah,
Oh my
so
gosh.
we, like she said before, we came down here a lot, so we knew like Lower Water Street, especially in its prime and in the summer, it's a real hot spot, not only for the locals but tourism as well. So we always loved being on the waterfront, that kind of area. So when we were back in Toronto, which was last May during COVID and everything, the guy we saw who owns the place, Colin, like he's the landlord leaser guy. He said that a business was closing there, which was Alexa Pope.
Yeah.
Alexa Pope that closed down, and if we were interested in the space. So we immediately jumped on that. And then after we did all that, we kind of like looked at each other and were like, okay, now we need a place to live. So that came with its own struggles. Like
the research for the business honestly started like 4 years ago, I would say, even longer than that. So ever since we've been coming here, I would be messaging Colin and being like, "Oh, I'm in this city. Do you have any retail spaces I can look at?" Even though I wasn't planning on opening the business immediately, I just wanted to know numbers and layouts and just like get everything going in my head. So
Mm-hmm.
when we got word that the business was shutting down, we literally just
We
jumped for it. I'm
jumped.
like, this is meant to be. We don't have to do any construction in the store. Like, let's go for
Yeah.
it. And we even we purchased our house from Ontario. We leased the space from Ontario.
Yeah.
We even incorporated our business from Ontario. And then when we got here, everything was just like waiting for us.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, that's neat. But like with the space, with the location of the Ivory Sheep store, had you been inside that space before?
Once or twice when
Yeah. When
Alexa Pope was open, we went in there a few times as tourists, not even really thinking of, oh,
Mm.
this might be where we'll open our store, just to go in and see what was there. And
The funny thing is previously, we were hoping to get the store location beside us. So there's another store beside us that they use for pop-up shops, and they use just to like show people any upcoming developments
Yeah.
that Southwest is working on. So that was the space that I had had my eyes on for like years. And then yeah, we've only been into the store that we currently are in maybe twice before this,
Probably,
just to like
yeah.
maybe shop. We weren't even looking at it as like a prospective place to rent, but when we got word, it was like, I'm a very visual person, so I could literally imagine it immediately, and I was like, okay, perfect.
Grass wall and all.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, that is great. And then how was the move? Because you guys moved during the pandemic.
Oh
Yeah.
my gosh. Well, let's start off with all of the furniture that is in our store came with us from Ontario. So
What?
this is my favorite story because when we moved here, I knew how I wanted the store to look, and we have these massive displays of dried flowers in our store. We have 5 of them. I got them made in Ontario, so we even moved with those from Ontario. So we moved with all of our personal belongings, and
that is crazy.
We're insane. So it was a lot. We even moved here with paint for our house because we knew we would have to quarantine.
Yeah,
So we moved here with literally everything. We painted our house for 14 days straight. And then after that, we just started to work on the store.
It's like PTSD
Yeah.
reliving it. All the
Honestly,
painting we had to do in the quarantine
ridiculous.
and
Yeah,
oh my
it
God,
was so stressful, and we maybe had a full month to get the store entirely ready, and that included ordering product, setting it up,
painting,
getting it, like just absolutely everything. So we basically completely redid our house and the store in like a month and a half of time.
Yeah.
Just the 2 of you?
Yes.
Yeah.
For the 14 days of quarantine, because she helped us move here.
She helped clean the house.
She helped clean, but she was still working. So she would be working remotely at our house while him and I were just like manically painting everything. And then she went home and we started work on the store almost immediately.
Yeah. Holy smokes. Wow. So you got to the space. Did you kind of know where you wanted everything to be?
Yeah.
I didn't, but she did. Yeah, she had a good idea.
A very clear.
You had a clear vision.
Very clear concept of like even where I wanted mannequins placed. So when it came down to it, it was literally just getting the painting done, and everything else kind of just fell into place. And yeah.
Wow. And like, when did you officially open?
November 13th.
Yeah.
Okay. And how was that experience?
It was so much fun.
It was. We were exhausted that day because we didn't leave the store till midnight the night before, and then drive all the way back to Truro, and then we opened that day at what, 11?
I think we opened at 11, and we had to be there for like 8:30. So we
had caterers and stuff. So.
We were exhausted, but the adrenaline rush of it was so much fun, and we met so many of our customers that day, and to know that we were like so well received on opening day was like honestly the
Yeah,
best feeling
because
ever.
we were terrified.
Yeah.
Like, we thought it was just going to be us standing in there, no one would come
Yeah.
in, and especially during a pandemic. I mean, like, can't blame anyone. Back in November, it was different ballpark than what we were in
Yeah.
today, right? With
Mm,
the pandemic. So,
mm.
yeah,
Do you hire staff right away?
No, it's
no,
still just us.
yep,
Holy shit.
Yeah.
Wow. Like, I mean, so there's a pandemic and like number, but things are gradually opening up, right? And
yeah,
also, in the last year, Nova Scotia has been one of the safest place worldwide to live in, especially considering the pandemic, right? So, when it comes to the store and Ivory Sheep, right? What are some of the plans you had in place for the pandemic, even with things opening up?
Well, so like I knew we were gonna need, at least at the beginning, we were gonna need all the PPE stuff, which was like sold out everywhere.
Yeah.
You couldn't find that stuff because before we came here, I used to work for Staples as a delivery driver for businesses, and I mean, like these companies were ordering Lysol wipes by the truckload. Like, so all that stuff was gone. So I knew
Yeah.
when we did this, we needed stuff like that. So we brought that with us. We stocked up on jugs of sanitizer and
Lysol.
masks for
Yeah.
people if they needed it,
Yeah.
and all that stuff. So
Like we were lucky because we opened in November and the pandemic hit in March. So we were able to see how other businesses were planning and dealing with COVID.
mhm.
So by the time we opened, we knew like, okay, if anyone tries on clothes, you have to steam it and quarantine it. And even when it comes down to our change rooms, our middle change room has been closed since the day that we opened.
Yeah.
So that people can keep a distance while trying things on. We were prepared for everything except when we opened, restrictions weren't like super heavy here in terms of like restaurants and dining and all of that.
Mhm.
And then 2 weeks after we opened, there was a surge of cases and all the restaurants had to shut down.
Oh yeah,
Black Friday, Christmas kind
Yeah.
of time.
So we
Yeah,
weren't
yeah.
mentally prepared for that. We thought we were going to have a little more time to gain a following and be open a little bit longer, but then everything shut down except for retail stores. And where we're located, we're surrounded by nothing but restaurants.
Yeah.
Mhm.
So that was a little bit of a hit and an adjustment, but
Yeah.
it's behind us now.
There's even talks of that festival they were gonna do. And,
Yeah, there was supposed to be a winter festival.
They
and,
canceled that
yeah.
at that time, and yeah, that was hard, but
Yeah.
it's getting a lot better now. Spring, like the warm weather, so.
Yeah, yeah. And like, talking about warm weather, the last couple of days have been super warm.
Oh
So,
my God, I know.
yeah. Yeah. Let's talk about Ivory Sheep itself. We talk about you guys moving, painting, but we haven't talked about the business itself. Like, what is Ivory Sheep exactly?
Oh gosh, Ivory Sheep is just, I say it's like a movement. It's so much more than a clothing store. It's shifting the perspective. Like, don't get dressed for the day that you're having, get dressed for the day that you want and how you want to feel. And it's just like encouraging our shoppers to be completely themselves and express themselves no matter what people say or no matter if it's in trend or if it's not. It's just to encourage everyone to be their absolute most honest version of themselves every day. Yeah.
Wow. Yeah, that's something to think about because I was reading about me and about me, the about on your website. I'm like, holy shit! Like it shows, especially when you say that you've been thinking and planning for Ivory Sheep for years and years and years now. The seed was planted when you were 18 and everything you were doing was kind of leading you to where you guys are now. And having this partnership actually makes things flow a lot better. You have someone to help you paint, you have someone to help you with the website, you have someone that has this vision, so you have this synergy between the two of you. But like, how do you decide what things come into the store? Like, well, clothes and masks and dresses
Oh
and
no,
Listen,
accessories
that's
and stuff.
all her.
I am the worst business person ever. And I honestly just made a post about this the other day because I make all of these decisions purely on instinct and purely on like heart. Everything comes from such an honest place, and I only bring in products where when I see it, I'm literally like, oh my gosh, I need to have this. And it's probably the worst thing to say, and other business professionals probably do not want to hear that, but it's just what feels right. And that's
Mm,
kind of how I decide. Like, we have a new brand that we just brought in, and I had no idea how like successful and well received it was
Mhm.
going to be. I just decided to
mhm.
bring it in because I'm like,
Because it
that's a
looks pretty.
dress. It's a dress I would like give up my firstborn child for. Like, I
No.
want it, I need it, and I've done it. I hope other people will feel the same.
Oh my god. You don't have kids yet, right?
No,
No.
get that.
So okay, so that's great with the brand and like the feedback and people actually like this thing and you're going with your gut. But say, you see this brand in a, I don't know, online magazine or wherever, what happens from then till when they come into the store?
So what I try to do is like, I it's really hard to answer because the way that I approach things, it's just very like genuine.
Yeah, you're kind of a reactor, not
Yeah.
a
Well, I'm a
planner.
little bit of both. So when I see a brand that I love that I want to bring in, I just like contact them immediately and I figure out, okay, how can I get it into the store? And
Mm-hmm.
will this sell to our customers? Like, will our customers be interested in it?
Mm,
And when our customers see the stuff that we're promoting online, like they get so excited because these are brands that no one else in Canada has even attempted to carry. So they know
Yeah.
that if they are purchasing or interested in product that we carry, they're going to have like so many one of a kind items that no one else is going
mm-hmm.
to have. So that's just kind of the inspiration of finding product and then selling it to the customers.
Hmm.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. And like same is it pretty much same thing with accessories?
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. The
You know,
headband.
one of the coolest things I've seen is the candle. I don't know if it's like a bust, right? But it's a candle. Do you know this one?
I
Yeah.
I am so excited about that brand because I was not actively like we weren't actively looking for candles.
Mm-hmm.
They're a team that approached us themselves. Like they came in shopping one day and they were
Yeah.
like, "Would you be interested in carrying our candles?" And then they showed me pictures and I was
Oh,
just
they were
like,
amazing.
"Michael, you need to come see
Yeah.
this." Like one of the ones the second I saw the David head,
Oh, that one's nice.
I was like,
Yeah.
we need this because we have a matching sweater to it. And so many of the things that inspire me come from like France and England and Victorian. And so I saw the David head and I was like, this reminds me of Versailles. I need it.
Yeah. So they approached you about actually having the bust in the store.
Yeah.
Yes. A few of the local brands that we're working with, like we have a couple of products that are coming in that are made from local creators, and each of them reached out to me, and I was just like, I love your product, and I love that it's local. Like,
Mhm.
let's work together. And these are people who have come up to me who I just like, I don't know how we've done it, but they just get us and they get our store almost immediately. So they're
Yeah.
able to show me product that I honestly dream of right off the bat.
Hmm.
And I'm like, let's do this. So we're collaborating with a lot of locals, which I'm so excited about.
It's like a perfect fit
Yeah,
in
it
a
really
way. Yeah.
is. Yeah.
Yeah. I remember seeing that candle and being like, okay, this is really interesting. And I'm like, how did you get this in the store? Because it's unique, right?
Yeah.
And I think that's one thing that I noticed just talking to you is like, you always go for unique. Unique also shows out in your logo, right?
Yeah.
It's Ivory Sheep. You think it'd be like a ship with I don't know what the logo is gonna be, but you went with an Ouroboros, right?
Yes.
Yes.
And just like I like mythic things and it's like, being born, dying, rebirth, like this circle of life thing. Why was it important to make that the logo of Ivory Sheep?
Oh gosh. So this is me again.
Yeah, it's you again.
It's crazy. The Ouroboros is something that has followed me for years. Somehow it was just a symbol that I kept seeing everywhere. I had no idea even what it meant for years. It's just something that would keep coming up to me. And I started to Google it and I was like, oh my gosh, this is literally the representation of myself and the store, because it's the meaning of like life and death, but it also represents masculine versus feminine, light versus dark. And I honestly play on that edge. I'm always light versus dark, masculine versus feminine. So that's exactly what the store represents. Like, you're going to find the cutest little pink dresses, but you better believe you're going to find like, chunky combat boots and leather jackets. And it's just that balance of like myself and everything that I guess like my sense represents. And it even represents you too.
Yeah. And there's no kind of like set theme, I guess, with the store.
No.
So that's where the rebirth kind of comes into it, because we're always
changing.
It's always evolving and adapting.
Yeah, like a shedding of skin constantly.
Exactly.
So, like for me, I honestly am always wearing like either a dress with like Doc Martens or like a leather choker with like a cute little blouse. So I feel like the store needed to represent both sides of the coin.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So like one thing that stands out is that I don't know if that's like your slogan, it's like statement pieces. So where are some of the places you find the pieces you actually bring in?
So all of the pieces that we bring in are from brands that I have worn personally prior to owning the business for years.
They're in your closet right now?
They're in my they're brands, brands that I have like honestly spent my last dollars on.
Yeah.
And I absolutely refuse to bring in any brand that I haven't tested or worn myself. Just because I want to be able to speak to the quality of it. I wanted to be able to speak to the sizing of it. So everything that we bring in is just like so carefully picked that I just want to be able to sell my customers the way that I got sold on them myself. And if I can't speak to the product, then I just like, I don't want anything to do with it.
We've turned down products that we've seen we were going to order that we thought were just like amazing and so cool, but we're like, without testing, I guess, the quality and that kind of stuff, we didn't take the risk. So we
actually had like a friend / customer come into us a few months ago to try and help us find her daughter like a graduation dress. And they showed me the type of dress that they were looking for. And honestly, up until last week, I have been hunting like high and low. And I messaged her and I was like, I honestly wish I could say I have a dress for you. But all of the dresses that I found that she would be interested are from brands I've never purchased from. And I just I can't get her to buy this dress without me saying I wholeheartedly believe in this brand, because I just don't want to support a brand that I just haven't bought from myself. So I got a response from her almost immediately. And she was like, this is why I love you. Like, we found a dress. Don't worry about it. It's just like the honesty and the transparency is something that I think people really appreciate.
Yeah. And you know what, I guess, I mean, and this is me just thinking of again, and it just came to me now. It's like, do you feel this strong responsibility to the people that come into the store?
Oh yeah,
all the time.
Like, I even have customers who come in where like I don't know them prior to like my first meeting with them. But I'm completely honest from the get-go. Like, yesterday we had a customer even come in and I was telling them about a brand where you can buy the perfect like stick-on bras if you're wearing a dress that is too revealing but you need something.
Sorry. What's a stick-on bra?
So it's like if you're wearing a shirt where it's like a low back and you don't want your undergarment to show.
Yeah.
So
you just a cup and that's it.
Exactly.
Holy shit. Okay.
So I was like, I was telling them the best website to purchase them from. And I was
Yeah.
like, it used to be a really good website to buy clothing from, but the quality on this specific brand has really dropped down. Like, I cannot tell you to buy any of the clothing from there because it's like
Mm.
super tempting. Their price is great, but the quality is just garbage. But their
Mm.
bras are great. So it's like, even if I'm not selling my own product, I want to be able to create that relationship with our shoppers where they know that they're always going to get the honesty and the transparency
Yeah.
that they're looking for. And even
Hmm.
if I'm not making $1 off of it, I want to be able to help them.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, that is it's something cool. But like, no, you're in fashion. Something that's come up in recent years, actually, not just recently, but in recent years, is like how bad fast fashion is, and stuff like that. How does Ivory Sheep like not combat that, but like deal with that experience?
Oh my gosh. So we support the outfall of fast
Yeah.
fashion. Fast fashion is the worst. And the way that we deal with it is because, like, we don't carry fast fashion. Like, we do
Hmm.
have items that are lower price points, but they're pieces that are still high quality. So it's like, when I say higher price points, I mean, like, yeah, we do have headbands that range from $40 to $60, but they're all handmade. So I know you can't walk into a fast fashion store and find a headband. You can find one for maybe $20, but I promise you, you're going to be throwing it out in like 2 weeks.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm dead against fast fashion, and I've purchased maybe like 2 or 3 shirts from those brands, and I've had to like throw them out because it's like you wash that once
Oh yeah, you
and it
watch
just
it.
like crumbles in your
Yeah.
hands, or it just comes out like the size for a kitten, and you're like, how did this happen?
Yes.
Even if you wash it properly, it's like,
Yeah.
yeah.
So I've always been dead against it, and like I said, I've always like spent my last dollar on clothing. So like,
Mm.
there's a specific brand for Love and Lemons where they are a little more expensive. And being a student, when I was a student, I really couldn't afford much, and I would save every dollar I have just to buy like a really cute dress from them. And that's like the inspiration of the store. Like, I know pieces can get expensive, but it's worth it.
Yeah.
Yeah, and that's what's gonna bounce into like my next question, where people go on the website, and then I like that the price is right there. It's so difficult when you go on the website and like, oh, I like this, but fuck, how much does it cost? So I like that the price is right there. I'm like, I can afford this, I can afford this. Is that one of the reasons you did that? One, and two, how do you decide your price points?
So our price points, like for our bigger brands, those are almost like,
Those are kind of given to
yeah,
us. Like we have to. They kind of give us what we pay for, and then right beside it, they're what's the term we're looking for? MSRP.
yeah,
And they get very picky if we don't kind of stick with that, just because it keeps it fair with
all
all
other
the other
retailers.
retailers,
Yeah.
yeah, that they sell to. The other stuff, I mean,
We try to do our pricing fair because I
yeah,
have seen, like, I'm a major shopaholic, so I've been purchasing clothes for myself for years, and I have
Yeah.
bought from brands where it is so evidently price gouging.
yeah,
And there is nothing worse than when you spend $300 on a robe just to get it in the mail and be like, this was worth maybe 50.
Yeah.
Because then you get that and you're like, I don't trust this brand anymore. Like, you guys are just looking to make $1. And I know that's like the whole purpose of business, but I also don't
Hmm.
want our customers to
yeah.
like look at our product and be like, hey, you guys are absolutely insane. Like, stop trying to
Mm.
rob us.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. You also mentioned when we're talking about the David Candle, of like working with local designers and stuff like that. How important is that for you, for Ivory Sheep? And how do you decide which brands you work with locally?
So it is so important to us.
Yo, yeah.
I love the concept of working with local
Well,
makers and
I
creators.
mean, we help them, they help us, right?
Exactly.
It's like a
And
partnership.
it's
So
so important because, like we said, we're trying to create a fashion community here, like a fashion industry.
yes,
So working with locals is probably the most important part, because you can only create a community if, you have everyone on board. So the more local brands we can support and they can support us, the
Mm,
bigger the industry becomes.
mm-hmm.
The best way of finding them though is like they either find us or we find them, and I reach out to them and I'm like, do we want to work on something together? Like, what do you think?
I think
Mm-hmm.
most of the time they find us. They
Yeah, like
walk
I don't know
in.
how they
they
yeah, like one of the labels that we're working with, she
Mm.
saw us on CTV News and she just came into the store, brought me samples of the masks and the scarves that she's creating, and she was like, would you like to collab on something? And I'm like, hell yeah. Like, she does luxe satin masks, she's making specific scrunchies for us and hair bows, and
Mm.
these are just like, they're people that get us right off the bat, and I love it.
Right,
Yeah.
right. And like also, how important is that your values match?
It's kind of important, I guess, because we have to be on the same page. So
Mm.
another local creator we're working with, she's making us like chokers and body harnesses. And when she reached out to me, I was like, it has to be vegan. Like, we do not carry fur, we don't carry leather. Like, we need to be animal friendly. And she's like, oh, yeah, like, I don't do any leather or anything of that sort. And I'm like, I'm so happy I found you, because the product that she's creating for us, I've only ever found in leather. So the fact that we're on
Mm.
the same page when it comes to, you know, being animal friendly, that's pretty important, because then she's like willing to go to such depths to find us like high quality product and really cool colors without
Mm-hmm.
harming any animals.
Yeah. No,
Yeah.
that's great. I believe like having set of values and like this is who we are, this is what we believe in, and everyone that we're dealing with has at least they're in that wheelhouse. That
Yeah.
is always great. Um, your Instagram. Let's talk about that.
Oh,
It's fun. It's quirky, but it's also personal. Like like it's almost like Ivory Sheep is one name for Mackenzie, right? Because like even you are putting like this is things we're carrying. Every second or third post is about something really really personal.
Yeah.
About you, about Mike, about just the two of you. One of the really personal posts was the one I think it was like you were in front of a truck or something, and
Yeah.
like talking about why you guys moved. Why is it important to like? I mean, because you can just be like, oh, this is what we do. We sell clothes. That's it. Boom. And because of what you do, you will keep, that trend will keep going. But why do you also feel it's important to you to put your personal touch in Ivory Sheep,
oh,
especially on your Instagram?
It's
that's
so
authenticity,
it's
right?
so important, because especially with the dying of fast fashion, people want to know who they're buying from, what those people stand for, like who are they?
Yeah.
And it would be so easy for me to get on there and be like, buy this dress for $200. Look how cute it is. But there's no sense of trust that you're building there. There's no sense of like honesty or even relationship that you're building there.
Mm-hmm.
Mm,
I want my customers like to trust us both and know our faces and know who they're talking to and what
mm,
lengths we'll go to make them happy. Like, we're playing a fine line of like business slash influencer, because I want everyone to know that like they can trust us and who we are and what we stand for.
mm-hmm,
Because I just don't like the concept of like just buying clothes from someone you don't know
mm,
who they are. Like, I think there's just so much trust in being able to know someone's story
mm-hmm,
and still going to them and being like, I trust you, I want to buy this, let me know what
mm,
you think.
Yeah.
mm, mm.
Yeah.
Yeah, no. It that post, especially the one with the truck and like this is why we're living in Truro. I was like, holy shit, okay. It's so personal, but it's also because, like you said, it puts a face, a name, a person to this brand that I'm supporting. So I like that unique approach. I like that, and I'm enjoying a chat, but I'm gonna let you go because I know you have a lot of things you want to work on. But before you go, with life opening up gradually and stuff, what are some plans you have coming up for Ivory Sheep?
Oh, a lot of things in the works.
Oh, lots of things in the works starting next Monday. We're starting to work with our customers, and I'm not going to say too much, but our customers are now our models.
Yeah.
So it's going to start with that. And we're hoping if COVID and everything stays the same, knock on wood, we can have an Ivory Sheep coven or garden party in June. So
That's
we have
nice.
a few things getting installed in the store and maybe on the exterior of the store.
A few remodels in the works.
Yeah, so a couple of changes are coming where we can maybe have a garden party.
Nice.
Lots of product coming in. Lots of product coming in.
Tons.
Oh my God. Mike and Mackenzie, thank you for, deciding to follow your passion, starting up this business and building it, and also following your passion, because it's like, I wanted to do this thing since I'm 18. I'm doing it now. I can't even imagine how good it must feel. And I also want to say thank you for giving me your time and for coming to the sanctuary. And it'd be great to get you either just before the garden party or after the garden party. Actually, maybe after the garden party, let's talk about it, because I know you have a lot of planning for the garden party. So it'd be great to have you come back and let's talk after the garden party.
Oh,
I would
100%.
love. Thank you so much for having us. This was so much fun.